Hi folks, welcome back to another Sorare video. In today's video, whatever you want to call it, I am going to look at recent results, mainly from Gameweek 3, because the midweek Gameweek 4 is not going very well. I'm going to have a look at some of the lineups I have been building for this weekend, which is Gameweek 5. I will show you how I've been doing in terms of flipping some cards for profit, and also the sales I have made from cards that I have crafted already. And I'm going to finish the video by doing one craft. I have 52,000 essence, but I'm going to be patient for the next 2 weeks, which is going to be extremely hard to do. But I want to hold as much essence as possible until we get Premier League, Bundesliga cards, get all the big players in the crafting pool, and then try and get lucky with pulling those players. So obviously might need to somehow get my hands on some Premier League, Bundesliga essence, but I will worry about that in about 2 weeks time. We got a little extension on the wheel and on the wheel basically, and that is going to help us. It's basically going to give us a couple of days, I think, to get as many clues as possible, and then pull when all players are in that crafting pool. So I'm looking forward to that. I have done some crafting. It's impossible to be super patient. I did some contender SPFL, sold some of them, kept some of them, picked up some good Motherwell guys like Fadinger and Maswan Hisei. Picked up the Rangers goalkeeper who I sold because I think I can get him cheaper later. I've also got a classic, but I'll show you all that as we go through this video. So first of all, the last video was building lineups for Game Week 3, and I'm just going to show you some of the results from Game Week 3. As you know, if you watch previous videos, I had 100,000 K-League Essence that I needed to wash as quickly as possible to turn it into Neutral Essence, All-Star Essence, whatever I could do. I think it's Neutral Essence you get from the arenas. I've been playing loads of pre-deadline arenas, which are 800 Essence to enter. You get 4,000 for first place. And I've been doing quite well. So Game Week 3, I picked up over 20,000 essence. And of that, 18,000 was limited because I think I only had 2 or 3 rare teams. So that was a really good weekend. I'll show you some of the lineups that got me there. Just let me make sure you can see all of this. So there we have a bit of a Celtic stack going on with Hergota up front. Brilliant 81 score from forward Hergota, who I've been familiar with for a long time, playing contender, of course. So that was a nice return of 4,000 essence. This was one of the rare teams, mainly Celtic. I don't have Sinisalo because I bought one cheap during the summer, turned him over for a nice bit of profit a couple of weeks ago, and it's still not a guarantee that he will be first choice keeper for Celtic this season because we could still end up buying a second keeper to challenge him for that number 1 spot. So I was just using the Aberdeen goalkeeper here, and despite Aberdeen losing 2-0, we still managed second place and 2,000 rare essence. Here was another first place finish. 3 Lask players. The best defender in contender, Andres Andrade, with a 100. Certainly not his first 100 of his career. Had him captained. Managed to get a 100 from Jamie McCart, playing for Hearts as well, in a 4-0 victory over Dundee United. And Vasilev was basically a craft that I didn't want. I was trying to sell, but I was a wee bit short of forwards when I was building my arena lineup, so I just chucked him in. He did get booked, but he got an assist, it looks like, and he helped us to another first place finish. So that was another 4,000. This one was on the screen a second ago, just covered that one already. This was actually a leaderboard lineup, so I've been building fairly strong leaderboard teams in SPFL and Contender. Those are the only 2 competitions I'll be playing this season, at least to begin with, aside from all the arenas with my classic cards. So this was a strong team. Casper Hu, Celtic striker. I got him for about £9, basically the day before I think he signed. He's up at about £30-35 now, so I might actually sell this classic card if someone pays that, because the price will keep coming down and I'll get him again later. Celtic also don't play again in the league until the 29th of August, I think it is. We've got 2 European games and a cup game, domestic cup game to play as well. So he got a hat-trick as captain for 94, and he was in alongside a St. Mirren stack. Killian Phillips, who had a great game week 1. He scored twice in game week 1. He followed that up with another goal in game week 3. Heavy links to the MLS for him. So I'm hoping as an SPFL manager, I hope he stays at St. Mirren because he's going to be a very good option this season. I did get a DNP, but as you can see, the beautiful substitution function came in. Richardson got a 42. And we finished 100th on the leaderboard, which is not amazing, but 2,000 essence is a nice little return there. So that is the top lineups from last weekend. Let's have a quick look at what I am cooking up for game week 5. So again, I should say as well, I don't think you can see it there, but my current essence balance, limited essence, is 52,000. So I'm sitting on 52,000. I think, yeah, roughly 50,000 limited, 2,000 rare essence. And across game week 5, which is this weekend, 6 and 7. So over the next 3 game weeks, I have already spent another 46,000 essence. So in total, I'm currently on about 96,000. So we started with 100,000 K-League. We're still on 96. Of course, 46,000 is going to be in play over the next couple of weeks, next 3 game weeks. But hopefully we break even on that and we finish up, roughly around 100,000 all-star neutral essence. And then we'll figure out the best way to craft with that 100,000 when we've got all the big leagues. Hopefully get some big cards from Premier League, Bundesliga, etc. And then sell them. That will give me the balance that I require to finish out the collections in the Scottish Premiership and in Contender as well. I'm well on my way in Contender to completing the Croatian League, the Austrian League, the 4 French teams that are licensed, and I haven't really touched the Bundesliga 2 yet. I'm going to focus on the first 3 leagues, get them as complete as possible, and then when I've got more funds, hopefully from selling crafted cards and rewards, that I'll be able to get some Bundesliga 2 cards as well. So that's where I'm at in terms of essence. 96,000 in play at the moment. So we'll see where that shakes out after these next 3 game weeks. A little tip, if you are looking to get rid of your essence quickly, if I go up here, for example, if you skip ahead, they've even opened game week 8 and game week 9 now. So you can skip ahead and enter your lineups early. And you can just, when the time comes, you can edit them before the deadline. So if you look here, this is game week 7. So this is next weekend. I've already put in loads of teams here. Just basically auto pick, and then I'll edit them all when the time comes. But that gets rid of the essence right away. So I was sitting on loads of K-League essence. I entered all these teams. And then I was able to craft without, with no K-League essence in my balance. Because if I jump over here, if we look at my balance now, it is a beautiful sight because there's no K-League left. There was 97% K-League essence to begin with. And because I've got so many classic cards, I was able to burn through that really quickly. And now we've just got All-Star, Scotland and Contender. One of the things I did, probably about 6-7 weeks ago, once the European qualifiers were drawn, I went out and I bought all those classic players that were going to be playing, early in the summer. Rapid Vienna, Austria Vienna, Nordjylland. Who else have I been using? Besiktas, Fenerbahce, I think. So I've basically I was prepared, 6 or 7 weeks ahead of time. I was buying all these classic cards for 40p and 50p, and that's what's allowed me to enter all of these teams. Hajduk Split was another one. The Scottish teams that were in Europe, like Motherwell, Hibs, what other players jump out here? Nordjylland I mentioned. There's quite a mixture in here. Lask was another one, but unfortunately Lask plays Celtic next in Europe, so that's not going to be great for me. But let me just jump back to the upcoming game week, show you some of the teams. I've only got 2 rare teams, and I didn't have enough essence for 2 800 arenas, so I've done 1 800 Elite Arena and 1 Cap 260. So the strongest team there is Bond, Andrade, Horvath. I picked up Imbarba today for, I think he was £4 for his rare classic, because I only had one rare striker playing this weekend because there's no Scotland, so I had to pick up an extra striker just to get that second team entered and get that essence working for me again. I won't show you everything here, but it gives you an idea of what I'm doing. You know, there's a Lask stack playing a good fixture at home. You have a bit of a Rijeka stack going on there. Obviously, a couple of teams here I need to fix before the deadline. And what I might end up doing is, I mean, I've only got £8 in my balance at the moment, but you know, if I need a couple of players, if I'm shorting a couple of teams here, I'll just pick up a couple of 30p, 40p, 50p players that are 90% to play. For example, here, I don't like seeing any 70% guys, so I'll probably look to buy 2 strikers for, you know, £1.50 combined, and then take out Telio, take out Ezekiel Ponce, and get myself 80 or 90% projected players, because the key with pre-deadline arena is just to get 5 players playing, because if you just get 5 players that turn up, there's a good chance you're going to get a top 3 finish. There's so many DNPs in pre-deadline arena, and that's why I've been doing well, because I've been super conservative and super safe with lineups. For example, 70% here, I'm just going to take them out because I don't like that percentage. And I know this is just one person's opinion on Sorare Inside, but I'll always, you know, do my own research off the back of that as well. So as you can see, loads and loads of lineups going out again this weekend. There's one at the bottom I need to fix, because looks like the Fenerbahce guys won't play in that game because they're probably busy in Europe this week. You know, I think I've got 3 Actor Coglus. So if he's at 70%, I will probably only use one of them rather than risking killing 3 lineups at the same time. So that's a wee bit of the thought process around what I'm doing there. I've always got one MLS team going in leaderboard, chasing the $1,000. Quickly show you how the collections are going. I'll just show you Scotland because this is the closest to being completed. There's only 12 teams in Scotland. St Mirren is basically done. I only need one outfield player, which is Ramos. Almost got him today. Probably get him over the next few days. I won't be buying Chapman, the goalkeeper. I had one and I sold it for a profit, and I'm pretty sure I've got a classic. So I've been running classic goalkeepers across the board in SPFL and in Contender, in the streaks and in the leaderboard. So I'm just not paying for the goalkeepers. So for example, St Johnston, I'm only short of 2 players, and one of them's the goalkeeper. He's actually dropped way down in price now, so I'll probably end up just picking him up for £2 or £2.50 if I can. So it's a good time to buy Scotland players, because there's no league action this weekend. And even when it comes back next weekend, I think there might only be one fixture depending on how European results go tonight. So, you know, Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, Hibs, Motherwell, it's a good time to get in on these players. You know, for example, let's look at the price chart here of this goalkeeper. It's reflected here in the league schedule is reflected in his price graph, because he sold for £15 4 days ago, and now he is selling for £3. So that just goes to show you the Scottish market is dipping because there's very few fixtures at the moment. Before I craft, let me just show you this. Hopefully that's not going to blind you now when I go over to this white screen. I'm keeping track of what I'm doing. I have not tallied up yet what I've spent on each league in terms of Contender and SPFL, but once the collections are complete, I will do that, and I will update you in a video, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, what I've spent on each region, and then we can see what we need to try and win back over the course of the season. But I'm also flipping cards here and there. I've always been a bit of a flipper, and any cards I craft that I don't want or that I think I can get for cheaper later, I've been selling as well. So at the bottom there, you see my crafted card sales. First up is the Rangers goalkeeper. Sold him for £16. There's no games for ages. His price is going to come down. I've got Puskas there as well from Hajduk Split. I maybe should have kept him. I might regret that one because he's a good scorer. But again, 10 quid helps me buy probably 5 or 6 players to help, you know, fill out other collections. I picked up a Hartdale in a craft. Don't need him. Is he moving to the Bundesliga? I'm going to say, is it Hanover? I think Hanover got promoted, but I could be wrong on that one. But I sold him anyway, $8.50. There's another Rijeka midfielder, Dantas, sold him for £8 because I think I'll just get him, I can get him for £5 or £6, probably in a couple of weeks' time. David Ashvili, I crafted him, sold him. There's speculation over his future. You get the idea there. So I'm just keeping track of the sales. And then above that is cards that I've flipped. So the best one I've flipped so far is Hearts goalkeeper Bo Royce. I bought 2 of them for a £5. I sold one of them for £25. So what you see there is the profit I've made. It's the difference between the purchase price and the sale price. Kilty, I bought a rare Kilty for 86 about 2 weeks ago, and then I sold it for £9 or £8 possibly. So I'm just keeping track of all that, and over the season, that is going to add up quite significantly. I'll continue to flip and sell crafted cards throughout the season, and that will all go into the grand total at the end of the season, and we'll see how it all shakes out. Let me finish with a craft. I shouldn't be crafting. I want to wait, but for the purpose of the video, for a bit of entertainment, I'm going to do one craft, 1,000 limited essence. I've got enough clues for Nationality League and Best 5 if we need them. So hopefully this is kind to us and we get some video luck. So let's go. We'll see what happens here. Give us a good room. Special star, guaranteed in the mix. So this is promising. Let's use the clues that we have. I should say as well, I've burned through all of my tickets now. I did quite a bit of crafting. Burned through. What I found with the tickets is you need a lot more tickets than you used to get decent crafting clues. It actually takes quite a while to max out your clues. But my plan now for the next 2 weeks is I want this to be my last craft for 2 weeks. And in the meantime, rack up as many tickets as I can and then have hopefully 100,000 essence, maybe even more, loads and loads of tickets, and then do a mega video, just burn through 100,000 essence in one video. It'll probably take me about 6 hours, but it'll be a lot of fun. So that's the plan. So I'll use these clues and then I'll start stockpiling again on the tickets. Nationality, league, highest rank we don't need because we already know that. And I'm going to get the Sorare craft helper up in a wee second, but I like having a quick glance to get an idea first of all. So Croatian player in the Croatian league, I'm always interested in because there's some absolute smashers that play for Zagreb that are Croatian, like Stojkovic and Beljo, etc. Misic, I think, is another one. We've got Brazilian in Portugal. It's not of interest to me, but if it's a high value player, I will take it and I will sell it. We've got a German in Bundesliga 2. We have Burkina Faso in Austria, so that could be quite a predictable one. K-League, no thank you. We have another Croatia. An American in MLS, no interest to me. This is a flag test. Slovenia in Croatia. We've got an Englishman in Scotland, which is always it's never a great one to pull because there's so many options. We actually have 3 Croatians in Croatia. So I'm going to try and guess what is Sorare Craft Helper going to tell me to do. It depends who this Burkina Faso player I think is in Austria, because I feel like if that's a good player, it will like this. If you haven't used this, it is just, SorareCraftHelper.com. There's a couple of hyphens in there, but if you Google it, you'll find it. You can link it to your Sorare account, and it just helps you with the craft. Can you see all of that? Let me move this a wee bit so you can see what is happening here. So yeah, it always likes Croatia because it chases the big guns. There's 5-star and icon players in Croatia, but obviously there's a huge amount of other Croatians as well. We've got Beljo, we've got Stojkovic, Misic. I mentioned all them. I'd love to get the goalkeeper, even though Zagreb might sign a goalkeeper. I've got 2 classic Livakovic, just in case he goes back there. There's a couple of other goalkeepers there that are good options as well. So I do like that, but let's see what else is here. Who is the big hitter in Portugal? Looks like it could be Bernardo Fontes. I'm not going to pretend I know who that is, but he's got a good floor price of €36. The German Bundesliga, I'm sure there's... Oh yeah, see, this is very tasty as well. Love these guys. Fabian Rees, Vanacek, Glatzel, those first 2 in particular. I'd absolutely love to get a Rees or a Vanacek. I sold my classic rare Vanacek a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of regret that as well. Burkina Faso, who have we got here? Yeah, they're all worth £2 or less, so we're not going to go there. K-League, no thank you. Croatia, we don't need to check it again. MLS, we'll just have a wee look. Jack McGlynn, I like him, but again, I don't play MLS. Well, I do play MLS with Jack McGlynn already, so I don't need another one. Slovenia in Croatia, there is no stars or icons, so it would make no sense to pick that one. I do like Zaj at Zagreb, but we'll skip that one and we'll go looking for a bigger hitter. So yeah, obviously, do I go Croatia or do I go Germany and chase? Do I chase Vanacek or Fabian Rees? I'm looking at some of the percentages here on the screen. There's a lot more German cards in terms of rosters and reserves compared to the Croatian league. But then there is more stars and icons in Germany. Yeah, I still don't fully understand this new system they're using anyway, the special star. So I should probably just double check this. Does it even explain it well here? A special star is, what does it say? A special star is going to be 4% a key card, or they really don't make this very clear, do they? Special star, one card, 100%, and the rest is 0%. I'm not even going to pretend I know what's going on there. Croatia or Germany? I'm going to go Croatia. I've done this a couple of times and I haven't got a big Zagreb player yet, and I would really like to get a big Zagreb player. I could go number 1, I could go number 6, or I could go number 10, but I'm just going to go number 1 because the craft helper said it like that the most. If this is a terrible Croatian player, and if I miss Fabian Rees or Marvin Vanacek, this will be my last video of the season. Let's go. Give us some video luck. We did not get video luck, but we also did not miss a Vanacek or a Fabian Rees. Who was the big one? So the big one looks like it was MLS, Milan Iloski. Not concerned about that. Maybe I could have made a few bob off him, but I was never going to pick an MLS player there. So yeah, Osijek player, I probably have him already, but I'll double check after the video. So I'll stop recording and I'll check that out afterwards. You don't need to see me doing some admin in the gallery afterwards. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. I'll be back probably next week. I'll do at least one a week. Hopefully I'll get 2 out a week sometimes as well. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit like, give it a wee share on social media as well. Helps the channel to grow. Best luck this weekend, whatever you're up to in terms of leaderboard streaks and the old classic arenas. And yeah, hopefully 2 weeks time we will have a mega crafting video with hopefully 100,000 plus essence to play with. Talk to you soon, folks.